All right, today we're going to take a look at the Fifine AM8 dynamic microphone and the Fifine SC8 USB audio mixer. These are both from the Applegame product line. If you've not heard of Fifine, they're a company that's based out of China. They've been around since 2009, and in 2023 they started the Applegame product line, so these have been out for a couple of years now. They're really targeting the budget streaming, recording, podcasting user, so it's a really targeted audience that they're going after, and I think they've done a really nice job at the price point that they're at. So this is what I'm using. A lot of the reviews that you'll see online, Fifine has shipped them the product, paid them to make the review. I'm actually using this product. Nobody paid me. I bought this stuff with my own money. I've been using it for a couple of months now. Really enjoying it, so I thought I would make a video, share my experience with this product, and hopefully for other people that are wanting to get into gaming, streaming, recording gameplay, making YouTube videos, they'll check this out and it'll help them find some budget-based gear that won't break the bank. All right, I had both of these hooked up, so I went ahead and unhooked them so I could show you. Here's the mic, the AM8 mic. So on the front side, you have the different RGBs. So if you press on this, it'll change the colors. You have the mic volume, and then you have the monitor volume if you're going to use a monitor. Because on the bottom, you have a headphone jack for the monitor, and then you have USB and XLR. I'm not using the monitor, by the way. I monitor through the SC8. And then on the back, if you're using the USB, you have the button to, it's basically just a touch button to mute the mic. One thing to note, you have to have USB hooked up to have the RGB working. So I use XLR to the SC8, but I just plug in the RGB just to give it power so that I can have the RGB on the mic. I kind of like having that. So I don't use the headphone jack for the monitor. I monitor, like I said earlier, I monitor through the SC8. All right, now let's take a look at the back of the SC8, and then I'll hook it up and show you how it works. So on the back here, you have the button to cycle through the RGB, PC, PS4. So if you depending on what you're using, you can flip that over. Basically, all that does is PS4 puts it through the optical in. If you do have optical on your PC, you can leave it on PC and hook it up through optical, and it will work. This is the USB that goes into the PC. Like I mentioned earlier, you have optical in, and if you're not using optical in, you would hook up into the aux in from your PC line out. Also have the headphone and the headset. If you aren't using a mic and you have a headset with a microphone, hook it into the headset and you can use it. But I would recommend definitely using a XLR mic with this. The AM8 is a dynamic mic, so you don't have to change anything. You just leave it set to dynamic. So that's the back of it. It's pretty nice looking. All right, here it is hooked up. Like I mentioned earlier on the mic, I don't use the monitor and I don't use USB, but I do have the USB plugged in so I can get the RGB. So really, once you have the mic set up, there's really not much to show on it other than, you just set the volume for the mic, and then you just tap this button to pick the colors you want for the RGB. If you're not using USB, the mute button does not work over here. You would mute on the SC8 on the microphone input. So that's pretty much it for the mic setup. I do have it installed on my arm now, and I'll show you the SC8 now. All right, so let's run through all of the knobs and buttons on the SC8. So we'll start to the left and go around, and we'll save voice changer for a minute. So the main knob here, like I mentioned in the opening, the cool thing about this is it has a separate game and chat channel for your Discord and your game audio. So what this does is basically, if say your chat's too loud, you can dial it towards game. Gives you the ability to dial in the chat and the game, the mix. So if the game's too loud and you can't hear, you can always dial it more to the chat. So this is your output for the audio that's coming into your headset. So all of these have the click mute, which is nice. And whenever it's muted, it turns red, which is really nice. So you can adjust your output coming out to your headphones with this. Your aux, you can adjust that as well if you have the aux out going to something. So, and then also the mic, you can dial the mic in. And then, like I mentioned earlier, the button doesn't work on the microphone when you're using XLR, so you just mute it here. So when I'm not playing or I don't want any, I'm not using any audio in OBS, I'm just playing and recording, I'll just hit the mute button here to make sure there's nothing coming through the mic. For the buttons, we have the mic monitor. So this would be if you want to hear what's coming out of your microphone onto your speakers, and I'll show that in a little bit. The 48 volt is if you need the voltage for your microphone. The AM8 does not, so you will not ever touch that. 7.1 I don't really use, but you can run this thing in surround sound coming out to your headphones. And then you have the EQ for that has 3 presets. It has gaming, music, and video. So don't really use that either. I use the EQ and the software, and I'll show you that in a little while. And then these are the 4 custom buttons. If you hold down on these, you can record a custom sound. So if you had like a meme board, you could do that. So I'll show you real quick. I've set up custom A. So I'll just play it through the mic speakers, through the mic monitor. Test, 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 custom, custom, custom. So that was just a custom button I just set up just to kind of show you. All right, so let's check out the voice changer. I'm going to switch over to using the AM8 microphone to go through the SC8 for the voice change. And then I'll just set my little wireless mic over at the output speakers. We'll see how it sounds. Turn mic monitor on. Auto tune, auto tune, auto tune. Elder, elder, elder. Megaphone, megaphone, megaphone.
Baby, baby, baby. Female, female, female.
Male, male, male. Then to turn it off, you just hit voice changer. Okay, let's go check out how I have this set up with my computer and how I have it configured in OBS, in the Genie software, and Discord. All right, before we get started real quick, just a quick diagram. So I have the SC8, I have the AM8 mic connected to it via XLR, and the gaming PC is connected to it via the USB cable, and then also line out from the PC into aux in on the SC8. Also have my headphones connected as well for the game and chat to come out of, and then all of that feeds OBS, Discord, and the Fifine Genie software. So let's take a look at how all that's configured. All right, I'll just kind of quickly show you how this is all set up and why I like the SC8 with the multiple channels. On the left we have OBS, on the right we have the Genie software from Fifine that works with the SC8, and then bottom right we have Discord pulled up. I'll start over here with the OBS. So in OBS I have the monitor, right, which is the monitor that is the display that's recording. So this display here, I have the microphone, the AM8 mic set up as a mic, and then I have 2 audio channels. I have the game audio, and then I have the chat, both with the SC8. So how this works is I'll pull up the settings. So track 1 is all of them combined. So if you are fine with how everything's mixed, you can just use track 1. It has the gameplay, the mic, and the chat all in one. But a lot of times you need to do some mixing. One channel may be too loud or whatever. So so if you don't want to use track 1, you can. It's all split up as well. So so for here, track 2 is the microphone. Track 3 is game audio, and then track 4 is chat. So I'll show you in a second in my editing software when I pull a video in. You can see all the different tracks and then why it's useful. But I have track 1 as set as combined because if you just want to open up a video that you recorded in a media player, they all default to track 1, so you can just open it up and hear everything all together. So that's how you set it up in OBS. Pretty straightforward. So now over in the Genie software, so this is the Fifine software that they've released recently, hoping they continue to make some improvements on it. It's not bad right now, but I think there's some things that they could add to make it even better. So the home page here is just kind of like, you know, pulls up their web page with all their products and things like that. So it's really just kind of the sales page for their new stuff. And then you can see what it's connected. So right here's the main mixer page, and so as you can see here, I have the master, and then each channel can be controlled if you don't want to control it with the knobs. And then you can also add applications in these channels. So like say you had Spotify or something, you could add that to the media channel and have it adjusted here. And then you can use the knob here, the dial here, to adjust the gain in the voice. I really don't use this page a whole lot because I generally use the knobs on the mixer itself. Another nice thing with this is it's got the streaming mode. I don't have it on because I'm not streaming, but if, let's say you were streaming, you can basically, the left is what you're hearing, so the headphones is what you're hearing, so you can mix that, and then this thing on the right here, this icon here, that's what's going out to your stream. So you can, adjust each channel going out to the stream independently from what you're hearing. So maybe you have media here, you have Spotify playing, and you only want to hear it in your headphones but not send it out to your stream, so you could just turn that down all the way. So it's kind of a nice feature for something that's that's cheap as this is. It's pretty decent features. Next we have the light control, so you can drag this over onto this and you can go through the different light controls on it if you don't want to use the physical button. The main reason I got this software is so that I could do some EQing. So you can set the input and the output EQ. So on the input I've set my mic, so basically now I can set it here and I don't have to set it in OBS and the other things that I'm recording to. It'll just basically handle all the EQing for everything coming through the mic. Then on the output, what's coming to your headphones, it's got a nice list of all these different games. I generally play Delta Force a lot, so I have it set for Delta Force. But there's a lot of different games here, and I'm sure they'll keep adding, but I basically just have it set to Delta Force. Then on the hardware, you can select the device, and then you can do some controls here. I really don't use this much. I really wanted to try to use the noise reduction so I didn't have to use it in OBS, but I felt I tried it, and to be quite honest, right now I think it's a little too aggressive. I would cut out every once in a while, is what my friends were telling me when we were playing. So hopefully, when I was talking about things that they're going to work on, hopefully in the future they'll give us some more ways to configure the noise reduction. That would be really nice if we could adjust the noise reduction. But you can do everything here, like I mentioned, that you can do in the physical device itself. And then just, some of the settings. All right, so we have all the channels set up into OBS, and then in Discord, all you need to do is select your microphone, which is the SC8 mic. You can use the microphone for SC8, or you can use, I believe, the virtual audio device. I just have the mic set picked there. And then the most important thing is for the speakers, you pick the chat. So by picking chat, that means all the chat coming from Discord will go into the chat channel. So basically, you'll have your game, and in your game, you pick the game channel. So so in your game, whenever you're selecting the output for the game, you pick the game channel, the Fifine SC8 game, and then in Discord you pick chat. So that's how you separate the two channels. So I'll now pop open DaVinci Resolve, which is what I use to edit, and I'll show you kind of how this works and why it's pretty cool. All right, I have DaVinci Resolve pulled up, and I just dragged a game clip that I recorded the other day using the settings that I was talking about earlier. So as you can see, I dragged the clip in, and I get the 4 audio clips, right? And so that's the most important thing. So track 1 I have labeled as all tracks combined. Track 2 is the AM8 mic. Track 3 is the game audio, and track 4 is the chat audio. So, what makes this nice is, let's say, I have some gameplay and I don't want any of the chat or any of the voice in the game. I can just basically come in and mute every channel except for the game audio, right? So now I have game audio playing and no chat at all. So that's one thing that I use it for quite often. And then sometimes I'll unmute these. Oops, actually I'll mute all these. Sometimes I'm okay with the whole mix, right? And I'm just gonna I'm not gonna worry about the 3 other channels. I'm fine with how everything is combined. I'll just mute these other 3, or you can delete them, and I'll just have track 1, and it has everything combined. Watch them coming down from tunnel. So gives you a lot of flexibility. And then, you know, if you don't want, if you do want to do the individual mixing, you would unmute your 3 channels and then mute the combined channel, and then you can individually go in and adjust, you know, the volume to however you want for each channel. So so really nice, gives you a lot of flexibility, and that's the main reason that I picked the SC8 over the SC3, because I wanted the ability to be able to mix it however I wanted. Audio is what I found when I started doing this, is audio was very hard. I figured audio was easy, but to get a good quality sound, it's not easy. So having the flexibility is crucial. So yeah, that's how it all works. So hope this helped. All right, let's start with the pros. The pros for the microphone: it's a great microphone. It's got USB and XLR. So if you don't want to start with the mixer and you just want to plug the USB straight in and start using the microphone while you save for the mixer, you can. So it's going to be hard to find a better mic for the price. So highly recommend the mic. The pros for the SC8 is the price. Obviously, you know, it's about $69, $70, somewhere in there. It varies, and there's also some bundles. I'll list some bundles too, where you can get the mic, cable, and the mixer for cheaper than buying them separate. Another pro is the separate game and chat channel. That's the big thing, right? If you don't need that, you can get the SC3, right? The SC3 has a lot of the same features, except you can't use the Genie software with the SC3, and everything goes out into one channel. So if you don't care about the software and you don't really care about separating the channels, just get the SC3 and save some money. Another pro is the Genie software. So it's a nice little added feature for the price. If you're streaming, gives you some flexibility with mixing, the EQ, and hopefully there's going to be more things to come. Now let's check out the cons. So the cons for the mic, I don't really see any cons for it. Like I said, it's only around $55, and it does a great job. It sounds great. It's got XLR and USB. I don't really think you're going to find anything better. As far as the cons for the SC8, you know, there's really just a couple of things. I don't even know if this is really an issue with the SC8 or just the headphones, but some of the in-ear monitors that I've tried, it's not powerful enough to drive them. So specifically the Truth Gear Zero in-ear monitors, I tried those, and they require an amp, so a digital DAC. So they didn't sound great connected through the SC8, but then I have some other in-ear monitors and other headphones that sound perfect with the SC8. So it really just varies. And like I said, these monitors may just need an amplifier. I've not tried them with anything else, so it could just be the headphones themselves. And then, even though it's a pro, it's also a con. I think there's some room for improvement. The Genie software. I think the Genie software has a lot of potential. It's new, but I would really love to see them add some things to it to really make it great. So, like around, you know, being able to tweak the noise reduction. Right now it's too aggressive and it's not really useful. So just continuing to add features to the Genie software. So those are the pros and cons. Would I buy this AM8 mic and the SC8 again? Absolutely. For being new and getting into this, you know, it's super easy to set up. It's cheap, and you're probably not going to find a better option for the price. So, all right, that wraps up the review. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do end up interested in buying something, please use the links in my description, as it's connected to my Amazon affiliate account, and it gives me a couple of bucks if you enjoyed the video and decided to buy the products because of the review. Also, please hit like and subscribe for more content. It's something that is free to do, and it helps me a lot. Appreciate it. Later.